here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Right. It can be an issue, possibly an issue, especially for Mr. Robinson. Right. Now, one of the things is when you're quarterback on the shorter side, right? Sometimes you don't always guys are taller than you. The line of scrimmage, they got their hands up and everything. Sometimes it's not easy to see just over the middle there, right? That's why it's easy maybe to look way down the field, see someone running down the sideline and just launch it, right? Sometimes he gets the ball, maybe rolls out of the pocket, right? Gets him out of all that commotion, right? So he can see. Right, but then again, a lot of times too, if you roll out to one side, one thing you don't want to do is throw across your body into the middle of the field either. So this one stat is a nice little article here. Russell Wilson's stat is a problem for one Giants wide receiver, Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Signing Russell Wilson in the 2025 NFL free agency finally gave the Giants some credibility quarterback. A 10-time Pro Bowler who's won a Super Bowl. Should have been 2 Super Bowls if it wasn't. No, he's the one that threw the ball that got picked off. So, all right, whatever you got to call it. 75, 80% his fault, but never ever should have. The ball never should have been thrown there. Never. They should have ran the ball. The Patriots were not stopping their running game. Right? They should have just kept handing the ball off. And they probably would have scored a touchdown. They probably would have won them the game, would have won them another Super Bowl. But anyway, the veterans of rival is a problem for one incumbent wide receiver. It's 4th-year slot receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, once again, we got to remember here, right? 4th year, right? 2nd round, right? There ain't no 5th-year option for a second rounder. So let's hope, we have some money in the kitty next year. Maybe you can re-sign him. Right? Let's say Wan'Dale Robinson, who should be less than happy about Wilson taking over as Giants quarterback 1. Robinson has reason to worry because of one troubling statistic from Wilson's mostly decorated career. The numerical anomaly concerns how Wilson tends to avoid the middle of the field, where slot receivers typically roam, according to Charlotte Carroll of The Athletic. She detailed that among 35 qualified passers the past 2 years, Wilson has targeted the slot at just 22.3% clip. So whatever, 1 out of every 5 throws he targets at the slot. The lowest mark in the league. Now let's not forget, Wan'Dale had over 100 targets came his way last year. He had over 90 receptions, well over 100 targets went his way. Right. Between Robinson and Malik Neighbors, it was over 300 targets just between those two guys. Between those two guys, they had over 200 catches. that's crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what Wan'Dale Robinson's numbers are. Going from over 90 catches, you'll have to see what it winds up coming down to. So Wilson has targeted the slot at just 22.3% clip, the lowest mark in the league. Ooh. Now, that could at least be partly attributed to the offensive schemes and players Wilson played with in Denver and Pittsburgh, which is true, right? But it's still safe to say that he's not going to pepper the middle of the field. Those stats make for some depressing reading for Robinson, who usually does his best work between the hash marks. He's the most natural short-range receiver on the roster. But the 2nd-round pick in 2022 NFL Draft already knows he needs to alter his game with Wilson throwing the passes. Wan'Dale Robinson preparing to change for Russell Wilson. Robinson has been designated a slot since entering the league 3 years ago. but the 24-year-old is preparing for something different after Wilson's arrival, per Carroll. He's expecting to be moved around a little bit more. Might be outside a little bit more, get some deeper shots down the field, but at the end of the day, just going to continue to get open and just be a valuable target for our quarterbacks. More outside routes are inevitable for Robinson after the Giants added 3 quarterbacks more comfortable attacking the perimeter. Wilson, fellow veteran Jameson Winston, and this year's first-round pick Jackson Dart all boast the arm talent to exploit coverage vertically, which is something that, yeah. I mean, Robinson, I think it was all, it's just, I think it was like 7.9 yards a catch he had last year. I mean, which is, nothing to get excited about. It's 90 some odd receptions. Okay, cool. But, like 7.9 yards. Robinson has already been impressed with how Wilson launches the ball. The receiver told reporters that deep ball just drops right in the bucket. Whenever he's throwing the shorter routes, it comes in like a pillow. Okay. It's really, really easy to catch. A more vertical element to Big Blue's passing game can help Robinson fix his own statistical quirk from last season. One based on tallying just 699 yards from 93 catches. He had caught the ball 93 times and didn't even get 700 yards. Wow. Those numbers explain how Robinson was able to break the top 10 for both targets and receptions around the league last season, but he was only 44th in yards among his fellow receivers, according to Sleeper NFL. Wan'Dale Robinson among wide receivers last season. He was 10th in targets, 10th in receptions. He had over 100 targets. He had 93 receptions, but he was 44th in receiving yards. Having quarterbacks capable of pushing the ball vertically can lead to more deep routes and chunk plays for Robinson. Now, one thing is, it kind of sometimes might go hand in hand, right? Because if you got Wilson dropping back, as long as Wilson's a starting quarterback and all that, you got Slayton or Hyatt, and we know Wilson is good at throwing the ball deep, right? Maybe stretches the defense a little bit, right? Opens things up over the middle a little bit more. So it might help to some degree. But it'll be interesting to see. Yet that doesn't mean that the Giants shouldn't expect more from him in underneath areas. Giants need more from the after-catch specialist. Whether he's in the slot or split out wide, Robinson has to do more once he gets the ball into his hands. More than the modest 3.9 yards after catch he averaged last season per Pro Football Reference. 3.9. The number was far too low for a playmaker with that kind of innate shiftiness and acceleration Robinson displayed after this grab. Oh, he showed it. Yeah. Wan'Dale Robinson is from Nick Filato. So quick in space, so quick he tackled. He was one play. Apparently, he tackled himself on a play. It looked like it was against the Eagles. Expanding the route tree for Robinson is a logical fix, but he still won't be the obvious field stretching among a receiver group with Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, and Jalen Hyatt. All three are taller and boast greater straight line speed than the 5'8", 185-pound Robinson. The latter's best bet to stay relevant will still be to make the most of the underneath targets he gets. It's going to require better hands to secure catches than doing more after each grab. Now, you figure, you also look at it too, is that, with 93 receptions, are you guys mad that you don't have Shador? Oh, absolutely. Not at all. Not at all. But one thing you got to look at is he's got 93 passes, and he does have some moves and all that. You figure if he would have broke a couple of them, right, and got at 60-yarder or a 70-yarder or something, his numbers would have gone up, at least a little bit. But it's like 93 catches, and he didn't even wind up with 700 yards receiving. Wow. So it'll be interesting. And once again, it's all, all things we'll have to wait and see. But obviously one thing is for sure is that Mr. Russell Wilson is very good at throwing the deep ball.